guys, Derrick White, okay, the great Derrick White actually had something to say about Popovich. Before we look at that though, look at this. I didn't show you this. He did it again. Derrick White's father, Richard White, he likes me. He really does. As you can see here, every single time he plays the San Antonio Spurs, or his son plays the San Antonio Spurs, he reposts my video, my rap to Derrick White. So if you guys want to watch that, you can go to YouTube, or you can go to, I guess, his page, but you can go to YouTube and just type in Clan the Spurs fan, Dear Derrick, or Dear Derrick White. It's on there. It'll come right up. Just type in Dear Derrick White and it should come up. But I was really proud of this because you guys know he was like my favorite player since Ginobili. And I think the rhyme scheme is really good. I think it's really impressive. And he likes it. Every single time Derrick White's dad posts this, okay? So I know we already know Derrick White's seen it because he replied to it too. But I would like to think in my mind that every Thanksgiving dinner, Mr. Richard White brings this up to Derrick. I would like to think that, okay? I would like to think that he plays this song every single time that Derrick White plays. I like to think that. But yeah. Anyways, good stuff. Really cool. So let's see what Derrick White had to say about Greg Popovich, okay? What do you have to say, Michael Jordan?
You know, everybody in
Sorry, let me put this in my headset. I know you guys can hear it, but I couldn't hear it. Hold on. Now the echo. Oh gosh. Headphones. Here we go. All right. Cool.
Yeah, it was not everybody, but like high school, like they're like, oh, I got a chance to go to the league. Where I was in high school, I was like, let me try to get to college. And so it's just kind of a little different story, I guess. But I mean, he just kept pushing me and just knew he saw something in me that I didn't see in myself. And obviously, my first year, I was in the G League, which allowed me to figure out the NBA game. And then
the doubts you had about your game, you better go toss it. That's great.
And it's from there, just continue to push me and just add that confidence. I mean, I used to be in the middle room. He'd walk in and just say, "You belong," and walk out. So just little things like that was just it's cool to hear from the greatest coach of all time.
I guess Popovich, in the course of the past, when did we trade Derrick? 2022, early 2022. So I suppose in the past couple years since then, Popovich has completely forgot how to coach. Like he has no idea what he's doing because the Spurs are losing games. People are so ridiculous with that, by the way. Popovich is the perfect guy for this job. He knows his players. He's doing a great job. People are so ridiculous when it comes to Pop, man. I love to hear stuff like this, that he's just giving that really quick "you belong," those affirmations. And I remember going to a Grizzlies game. This was a continuous issue with Derrick too, with his confidence. I went to a Grizzlies game, Grizzlies versus the Spurs, and I remember Derrick White was having a terrible first half. I mean, god awful. And he was so hard on himself, it was ridiculous. Before the third quarter started, during that break, he was sitting on the sidelines. And the first person that came up to him was Pop. Pop came up to him, sat down with him, was talking to him. And then after he talked to him, then that's when the rest of the guys came over and said, "Hey, man, it's all right. You're going to be all right." But gosh, it's just so irritating from somebody who, watches. We watch other teams, right? And you watch and you're like, yeah, there's other good coaches out there. There's other great coaches out there. But you don't get better than Pop, okay? And people saying that he lost his step, he lost this, he's lost this, that, and the third. The fact that Popovich has won as much as he's won, and the fact that he has the reputation in which he's had, people are like, he ain't been the same since Duncan. Well, he hasn't had the same talent since Duncan. I mean, he had Kawhi, and then they went to the Western Conference Finals, and then Kawhi left. We know the story. But the real thing about it is, because of Popovich's reputation and because of the legacy that he built and the San Antonio Spurs built and the culture that he and the franchise has cultivated, you have guys coming in that's already expecting to get told, not necessarily told exactly what to do, but for the coach to be hard on him, right? For there to be some tough love there. They expect it. Wemby came to the Spurs, and what was like one of the first things he said? He said, I'm waiting for Pop to yell at me. I want Pop to yell at me. I want to be a better player. This is what they want. This is what they need. And he always has that reputation. That's why you don't need a Duncan on the sidelines anymore. You already built the house. You already built the house. You need a Duncan to build the bricks, build the house, but now it's there. It's built. It's built. People know what to expect. They got the infrastructure written out. They know exactly what it is. And I think people kind of forget that, it's fine. Popovich has done a fine job. I think a really good job. Unfortunately, we're just not good enough for the wins. We're not good enough to win games. Even our best games were a struggle, right? But it's fun. I just love things like this, and I love these reminders that Pop is he's loved by players. And
a little different story.
And the only players that don't like Pop, or no, not don't like Pop. The only players that say anything negative about the Spurs once they leave, for the most part, maybe apart from Robert Horry. I don't know what was going on with Robert Horry. That was a really weird thing. But like most of the time, it's guys that either they might have been good players for us, but it was some type of character trait or something that's kind of weird about them. I mean, you got Steven Jackson, who kind of low-key still says weird things. He's just hung up on it, even though he literally won a championship with the Spurs, but they held him back apparently. He went everywhere else, and I guess they held him back too. But then you have DeJounte Murray, who's on the brink of getting traded, right? So is it the Spurs, or is it those like very few niche players that have something negative to say? The issue, things just need to change. We tried this with Kawhi and it didn't work. Seems we are not learning our lesson. What needs to change? What things need? What are we talking about? Are you trying to say wait? I don't know what you're trying to say. Are you saying Kawhi left because of Popovich? Are you serious? You think Popovich was the reason why Kawhi left? Kawhi left because of his family. Kawhi left because he was going to LA regardless. If was it a problem with winning? Was it the coach? Was it that he wanted a certain coach and win? Because if that's the case, okay, you had Popovich. You went to Western Conference Finals. Okay, sure. Well, I want a different coach, but I also want to win. Well, you got sent to Toronto Raptors and won a championship with a different coach. And I don't think anyone's saying Nick Nurse is a better coach than Popovich. But he went to the Toronto Raptors and won with Nick Nurse. And he still left. So no, it had nothing to do with Pop. Actually, in actuality, I think that Popovich could have convinced Kawhi to stay. Because as you guys even know, I hate talking about this, but as you guys even know, Popovich was going to meet with Kawhi. And once he went to meet with him, Kawhi's family was there. Uncle Dennis was there. And he did all the talking for Kawhi. They couldn't even get in communication with Kawhi. No one could talk to him. They couldn't even communicate to him. Yeah, but no, it was Kawhi's family. It wasn't anything else. He was gonna be gone regardless. Clan, have you watched the video of LA talking about Kawhi's situation? All the smoke. Oh yeah. That's another thing we need to get at. I liked that on Twitter too. We'll eventually get to it. That's also one of those things that can wait. We can wait on it, but good stuff. Good stuff. I just wanted to show you guys this because Pop needs more credit. Kawhi didn't like his HEB commercial. That makes sense. Okay, then that makes more sense. That's probably why he left. So